In this video, we are going to go over how to solve multi-step equations involving the distributive property. This is a lot like how we solve multi-step equations involving combining like terms, in that what you want to do first is simplify the side, well actually both sides of the equation before you then go and undo the order of operations. So without any further ado, let's jump into these problems. So in this first problem, you're given -2 times the quantity of 4x minus 2, quantity being all of this stuff, is equal to 18. How do we undo this? Well, first we need to simplify by using the distributive property. So the distributive property says we can multiply -2 by each of those terms right there, and that's going to be -2 times 4 is -8x, and then that'll be -2 times a -2, right? Or minus a -2 is going to be plus 4. And then that is equal to 18. 18 has not changed, nothing has been done to it. That's it. Now that you've distributed, look at that. We're left with a two-step equation. How do we solve from here? Very simply, what we do is undo the order of operations. So we're going to undo plus 4 by subtracting 4 from both sides. And that leaves us with a -8x on the right side. We have confirmed that we've undone the plus 4 is equal to, now focus in on 18 minus 4, 14. Now to finish this off, we undo multiplication by -8 by dividing by -8 on both sides. That leaves us with x is equal to 14 divided by -8. Well, there's a common factor of 2 here. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So -7/4 or 7 over -4. And as a mixed number, if you needed to write it that way, that'd be -1 3/4. However you needed to write it. And of course, you could check your answer by plugging this number into the original equation and simplifying the left-hand side, you will get 18. And that is pretty sweet. Bottom line is, it's just a little bit of the distributive property and a lot of bit of practicing your two-step equation math. All right, let's go over 2 more examples just to give you a little bit of variety of the types of examples you could see. Here we have some like terms and the distributive property involved. We'll dive into it. So we're going to combine as many like terms as we can, but before we do that, we have to simplify what's going on this side. So I will distribute first to simplify everything. That's 5 times 3x is 15x. 5 times 7 is plus 35. And then we copy everything else that we've yet to act on. Now we're going to combine the terms that we have. We have 15x minus 11x. So that's the same as doing 15x plus a -11x. So that is going to be 4x plus 35 equals 31. So I keep asking myself the question, self, have I finished simplifying both sides of the equation? And I have. I can't combine any more like terms and I can't distribute. So now I'm going to undo the order of operations. So I will subtract 35 from both sides. Focusing first on undoing that and seeing that it zeroes out. That's great. So we have 4x is equal to 31 minus 35 is -4. Now that I've focused on the integers and I've rocked that simplification, I'm back to undoing the order of operations again. I'm going to undo 4 times x by dividing both sides by 4. That cancels with division, leaving us with x is equal to -4 divided by 4, which is -1. And that is our final answer there. I boxed this answer, but not the last one. I don't know why. Just feeling it. So x equals -1 could be plugged into all those x values, simplified, and then you will get a check to your answer. All right, I'm not going to go through that check in every single video that I do, as I've gone through how to check equations in previous videos. All right, finally, to letter C. Letter C is a little different, and then we have 10 minus a whole quantity. That's a little strange looking. Don't be freaked out. We can deal with this. I'm going to rewrite this or look at it as plus a -1 times all of that, right? So that minus all of that stuff is the same as plus a -1 times it all. Like in the previous problems, I'll undo, or rather simplify what's going on by multiplying with the distributive property. So that's -1 times 9x is minus 9x. -1 times -4 is plus 4. So I look at this as a plus a -4 when I distribute. And that's equal to 12 because we've done nothing to undo 12 as of yet. Then we've got some like terms to combine. This time they are constants. You have 10 plus 4. That's going to be equal to 14 minus 9x is equal to 12. Keeping in mind that even though the negative 9x is right in between the 10 and the 4, we are still very much taking 10 and adding 4 to it. All right. Now, I'm going to undo plus 14 by subtracting 14 from both sides. That will cancel the negative 14 and 14 out, leaving us with what we wanted on the left side. And that's equal to, now we focus on 12 minus 14, which is negative 2. Sweet. Finally, we're going to undo multiplication by negative 9 by dividing both sides by negative 9. And that, again, focusing on what we want to undo, cancels out with division and leaves us with the variable we wanted to isolate equal to a negative 2 divided by a negative 9, which is a positive 2/9. And that, folks, would be your final answer. You could plug in 2/9 into your original problem. Everything will check out and you'll end up equaling out to 12. And then you can go and have a math party or just go and do the next problem that you're working on.